back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, thank you for joining us today. For today's video, we are diving into the guest bedroom here at the house. It was not my original plan to jump into this room next, but for whatever reason the stars are aligning. We just have a lot of guests back to back to back. I kind of want to get this done so it's like a finished guest bedroom, and we'll just make it really pretty. So we are getting started today. The last night I cleared out the room, other than I still have to get this dresser out and the bed itself out. This dresser probably won't stay, but we'll visit that later down the road. And I did go ahead and patch all the holes in the wall. There was some shelves that was hung up from the previous owner of the home, as well as, of course, the curtains. I will be raising the curtains up higher to give a more dramatic feel. Biggest thing we have to accomplish is painting. Yes, I know, more painting on this channel, but I'm gonna try to do it as fast as I can for both this video and myself in person. What we are going to be doing is from about third of the way up and above, and the ceiling is all going to be painted our house universal color white. Our color is by Bear and it is Swiss coffee. Now, the color from here down is this beautiful muted sage green from Bear called Jungle Camouflage. You can kind of see it here. So this color is going to be from here down, and I have a lot of ideas for this room to make it cozy, kind of vintage but modern. Just, it's really going to be how I want the rest of this house to speak once we are done doing all of the renovations. This is the starting point. So without further ado, let's get into this makeover. Okay, so I left the headboard in here for just a minute because I wanted to measure where this is, because I want my green to come up higher above it, but I don't want it like too high. But I also don't want it too low because I'm putting trim. So we need to find like the happy medium. Probably the biggest trim I would get is 4 inches. And I don't even think I'm gonna get 4 inches. That's here. Another 4 inches above that would be right here. I kind of feel like that's a good spot. I don't think I want to do a foot above the bed, but there's a foot. There's 8 inches.
After playing around with the measurements, I landed on 64 inches high off of the ground to put a line all the way around the room. This is going to be my guide where I will paint. So I will bring the white down to this color and of course bring the green up to this color. This is also where the bottom of my trim is going to go. And I went right into cutting. And then I went right into cutting in all of my corners, as well as painting the edge of the ceiling. Again, this is that white color that we're eventually going to be utilizing all around the home in that Swiss coffee. And I went ahead and freehand that line because of the fact that we will be putting trim up. I didn't have to be super precise. I didn't have to use any sort of painter's tape to cut that off because trim's going to cover it. So it didn't have to be super precise. And then I just went into rolling the paint on the ceiling as well as that first upper third.
All right, guys, day 2, same paint clothes, but top half of the wall has been painted twice, cut in twice. So now we are ready to paint the fun color, green. This is what's really going to transform the room. The room is already looking brighter, despite it being like dark and gloomy outside today. So I am excited to see this next color. We are also going to be taking the baseboards off, which we're actually going to do that now. We're going to take the baseboards off so they can be sanded and painted because they are going to be painted the same color, the jungle camouflage green. We're also going to be painting the door that color. So yeah, we're just gonna get all that trim work kind of prepped. I will be keeping the doors on their frame and just doing a light sanding in the room to get that taken care of, to get those prepped. My paint is a paint and primer in one, so I'm hoping after I do a scuff sand and wipe it down with denatured alcohol that I can just jump right into painting them and I don't have to prime them, but we shall see. And then one thing I do, if I'm going to be reusing it, is I write on the back where it goes. So left side of the window. Okay, so let's discuss windows because all the windows in my house are like this. They have a marble windowsill. They are the aluminum from the 1960s. I don't know what this tape is, but it's tape and it's coming off. So here's the plan. 1000% removing the tape. That's no brainer. I already did it downstairs in the basement, so we're gonna continue it in here. This is kind of the only like low cost hack I can do right now until I can afford to switch these windows out to help modernize them, is painting them black. The other thing I contemplated is adding trim to this window and all the windows in the house. This is kind of like the only room that has one window, so this is like my chance to kind of figure out how I want to dress up these windows in adding the trim. I've gone through so many images to try and see how people have incorporated keeping the marble window seal, but still updating everything. And what I find to be challenging for mine is most people's window seal comes out further, so they're able to then bring the trim down and have the trim sit right on top. You have a little lip extra, it looks great. Obviously my marble doesn't extend. I don't want to pay for new marble window seals, nor do I want to get rid of that characteristic. So I'm trying to figure out another way. I am going with fairly clean lines as far as like the simplicity of the trim, only because all the baseboards and door frame trims in this house are also a very simple profile. So I want to keep with that simple profile around the window seals. However, I can add just a little bit of decorativeness to it. I'm going to pick up this profile of trim. I should only need one piece. I wish this was a little bit longer because I could just use this, but it's not. So we are going to do a decorative piece down here, bring the simple profile down to it, and we'll just notch this little portion right here out. I think that's the best, most cost-effective skill set thing that I can do. What that also then helps me do is I don't have to have as many miters, so less room for error. So yeah, we're gonna do simple profile trim, decorative trim down here going all the way out. I don't know, I'm gonna go to Home Depot and kind of shop around and figure those numbers out. And then I'm going to buy the same type of trim that's around the door frame to also put around the closet doors, because none of the closet doors in this house also have trim, which is kind of weird to me. We're gonna do those up as well. Let's take a trip to Home Depot. So I found this, which is pretty identical to what is existing on my home. And that's already pre-cut, so that's perfect. I can grab 3 of those for the closet door. And I'm trying to piece things together for the window still. Okay, so that was a pretty successful trip. And what I found almost the exact trim that's around the door to the room to put around the door for the closet. So that's good. Then I got this MDF board. I wanted this profile on pine, but I literally, it did not exist. But it's like a 2 1/4 inch, simple rounded edge, super easy and clean. And then this is gonna go on the side. We're gonna notch it out here. And then I got this decorative piece we're gonna have come down flush like that. I think I have to start from the top and work my way down. I think that's gonna be the best thing to do. So that is precisely what I'm going to do. So let's get started. Okay, so what I just did is I made a little template that's gonna fit right there and tested it. Going to marked where the top of that marble hits, so then that way I can just mark this right there. That's far in and down I need to go. So that's what that looks like so far. Obviously a little bit of caulking. It's not nailed in, so once I have it nailed, it'll be a little more flushed. I'm so excited. That turned out so good. All right, so I'm gonna nail this up and then repeat the same steps on the other side.
Just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing, faces merchant change, but your face remains the same. Swallows will be here by dawn when we finally saw.
Alright, first white guys, blue color, here we go.
The trees will bloom and ice will melt.
Okay, I really like it.
How we felt. A significant life, just
trim around the room where it separates the white and the green. I did pre-paint the trim, again, just to reduce the amount of taping I would have to do. I did have to go in and do some touch-ups, especially with the nail holes. You'll see here in just a moment. And then I thought I painted enough of this trim, but I left like 4 inches unpainted, so I had to go back and do that, of course.
The final touches before we start bringing the furniture in. I have since put the baseboard in. I just went around and filled the holes of the baseboard. However, I'm not caulking the top seam, which a lot of people do. Most people do when redoing a room. The reason I'm not doing it though is because we didn't refinish the floors, and we do plan on refinishing the floors in the next year, maybe 2 years or so. All 3 bedrooms have this color oak floors, pine floors. Not sure if they're oak or pine, but either way, we do want to refinish them to kind of reduce the amount of orange that's in it and to better match the flooring that's downstairs in the basement. That was the whole reason we went with the color downstairs that we did. So to make my life in the future easier, instead of having to cut the caulk to take the baseboards off to then refinish the floors, I'm just opting to not caulk these baseboards as of right now so I can easily pop them off. However, I did go ahead and patch the holes that were from the nail gun just to make it look a little more seamless, and also because they're so tiny, we're not going to be able to, we'll have to pull those nails out. We won't be able to like reuse it necessarily in the future when the time comes. So final touches, we've done the baseboards, we're moving on to the outlets and repairing a few spots that as I was painting I realized I kind of missed in the prep work. This was an old telephone jack. No one uses telephones anymore, so we removed the ugly thing that was here, and I'm just going to patch this, get it nice and smooth, and then paint it, obviously. All right, so I'm starting to bring the stuff back into the room, mostly because I need it out of my hallway so I can also sweep my hallway. That's still drying. I'm gonna let it continue to dry, and we're gonna put the bed back together, which I really just have to attach the headboard back to the rails. I actually kept the footboard on and just kind of tilted it up and moved it around the room as I painted. So let's get that back on place. All right, now that we have the bed pseudo in place, and by pseudo I mean I still need to move it to sand and paint that patch, I am going to go ahead and get the sconces up that I purchased to go above the nightstand. The reason being is because when I have the paint out for that, I want to be able to paint and hide the cord. So with that being said, the bed I picked up from Facebook Marketplace, but I know that there's similar ones on both Wayfair and Amazon, so I'll link those down in the description below. I actually had this bed saved on my Wayfair wish list for like a couple years now. It was kind of like my dream bed, still is, still love it. Kind of disappointed and sad that we upgraded to a king size bed, and so I need to find a new dream headboard bed situation for my king size. But I didn't want to get rid of this. It was a hell of a deal. I got the headboard and the footboard for $80 on Facebook Marketplace when it's like $400 or $500 on Wayfair. Amazon depends. You can find ones for like $200-$300, but those up last year. So reusing them for the guest bedroom. And then this is just like the bed rails themselves is just like your standard black rails from Amazon. I picked up these nightstands back in December when we moved in, and we knew that we would be utilizing this space for a guest bedroom. I love the fluted glass detail. The knob itself is also really cute. It's like a brass type knob. One thing I really wanted for the guest bedroom, I hate when you have to search for an outlet, and most of the time the outlet is behind the bed. So I wanted to make sure I got nightstands that had the outlets for you to plug your devices in. I got the one that has 2 plugs and 2 USB. So it makes it really easy for anyone staying to charge phones, tablet, plug in their laptops if need be, that sort of situation. Sound machines and even then they don't have to bring a sound machine because I have a device that is a speaker that we use as our sound machine, and there's one in here as well. Because these stands are really small, I don't want to overcrowd them with a lamp and decor and all that type of stuff. I might put like a little thing here or there on them. I didn't want to have to take up the bulk of the space with the lamp. We are going to do mounted sconces, and they just came in today, so I'm excited. But I picked these up. This is it all put together. The reason I'm super excited about these is because, again, I was thinking about the space and what this space is going to be used for. And with it primarily being a guest bedroom, I wanted to have almost like a hotel type of vibe. So these are a plug-in. They have the option to be hardwired in. I'm going to stick with the plug-in option because it's much simpler and easier. But what's really nice about them is they are dimmable. The switch is up here on the plate rather than like on the cord. A lot of them, I'll insert a picture of what they look like. A lot of the plug-in sconces, the button was on the cord. And these swivel. So if somebody is staying, one person needs some light for like reading or something, Sierra, my sister, she's able to do exactly that. And also they come with a remote to also turn them off, which is also really nice. So they can turn off and on both with this or the remote. They're dimmable, both with this and the remote. They can be set on a timer with the remote. They swivel, they're brass. They just had everything going for them, with the exception of having to hide the cord, which is why we're waiting to paint that and this at the same time. So let's get to mounting these so we can get everything painted and get the paint put away.
Once my lamps were installed, I had purchased this cord cover to then attach to the wall, of course using my level there to make sure it's nice and straight. Added the cord in and I painted the cord covers to match the wall so they blend in real nice and seamlessly. When it comes to making the bed, I kept it simple with white sheets, a duvet cover that I got off of Amazon to bring in this really pretty cornflower blue. I got this quilt at TJ Maxx, and it's the perfect taupey grayish that matches the headboard and brings the color of the curtains into the room as well. As you can see here, I went with a pleated curtain as well as a bronze curtain rod that matches the bed to, again, making everything tie together. I've tried to keep everything in the bronze or the gold metal finishes for this room.
All right, so as we were planning this room, I knew I loved the idea of a dresser in here, but I didn't want anything long because I didn't want to take up too much space. And I don't want this room to feel crowded, but I want it to feel furnished, if that makes sense. So tall dresser was what was on my radar, and I scoured Facebook Marketplace for weeks, like literally probably about 6 weeks, until I found the right one. I was willing to do some DIYs, but I didn't want to do like the whole thing of like having to rebuild drawers and stuff like that. This beauty, I lucked out. I got it. He had already refinished it. There's just 2 things I need to do to it to make it like absolute perfection. He resealed it. It stained beautifully. I don't need to touch the stain at all. Literally, this was like a dream come true. This is gonna go on the wall with the bedroom door, and we're gonna kind of have it centered here. There's plenty of space between the bed and the dresser, so I think it will work perfect. And it does create like a little nook over in the corner where I'm going to put a basket, and for when guests unmake the bed, they have a place to throw the pillows, that like decorative pillows that you don't sleep on. So here we go. Let's get into the details of what needs to be done with this dresser.
Beautifully redone. Still has an old characteristic charm. All of the drawers slide nice and smooth for an old dresser. That is, of course, bottom of the drawers, not my vibe. So we're gonna put a removable wallpaper down on them. And I just need to be on the lookout. I'm gonna take some pictures for, I need one more of these. So I either need to find 2 matching ones and just have like the top ones be special, and then I can just take one of these and put it down there, and then I would have a spare one if we go that route. Or I just need to take some really good detail photos, and when I'm antiquing and thrifting, see if I can find something that's almost identical. But that little one down there is our secret for now, so shh, don't share it. But those are the only 2 things that I need to do to this dresser.
All right, so this is the wallpaper that I picked out on Amazon. I will make sure to link it down in the description below. This is what it looks like in person. I think that's so cute. I'm obsessed. The only issue was I couldn't find any wallpapers that were wide enough in a print that I liked. I have to make the decision if I want to put it in sideways, which I don't think I want to do, or if I want to match a pattern. I don't think matching the pattern will be that hard. And then what's nice about that is if something does happen to where like something spills in these drawers, I can just remove the part that got damaged.
So this was a peel and stick wallpaper, so I was able to just literally peel the backing off, and then I used like a credit card, bank card to press it down, and used a blade to cut it nice and precise up against the corner. To match up that seam, I of course found the pattern that would match up, trimmed it down to size, and then it just worked perfectly where I could actually fold the paper in half, and that was like the extra piece that I needed. But then I used that other half of it to start the next drawer. So it just, the math worked out perfectly. I couldn't have planned it any better, honestly.
Alright guys, so a few updates. It's been a few days now, and we're gonna get into finalize the little final touches that's going in this room. I'm not overly decorating the room, but I am including a couple pieces of art and stuff like that. One thing I am doing for sure is over here in this corner, I have been kind of on the hunt for a secretary desk. The reason being is I wanted a little bit of surface area to decorate, but also, again, keeping in mind who may be staying in my guest bedroom. And primarily, I do know that both my mother-in-law and my sister and my best friend works from home a lot. And so if they ever want to, do some work while they're here visiting, they will have their own space to do that comfortably. I'm still on the hunt for the perfect chair. However, I did find a great desk. It has now since gotten a little bit too cold outside to refinish the desk, so that's going to be a thing that we tackle next spring. But for the time being, I think it will definitely still work. It will serve the purpose it's supposed to. This beauty was only $35 on Facebook Marketplace, so I couldn't pass it up. So it'll be perfect. It folds down. They can use it as a desk. Guests can also use it as a makeup vanity, which I definitely could see my friend as well as my mother-in-law doing. But yeah, I think this will be the perfect little solution. So we're just gonna tuck it right here in this spot. And then again, once we find the perfect chair, we'll include that as well. For now, I can always bring a dining room chair in here, but I would love to find something that kind of goes with the room that permanently stays in here. Let's get to decorating and doing all the little final touches. Alright, so we mentioned how this could be a makeup vanity, and I already owned this cute, hi guys, cute little mirror. We're just gonna put some faux greenery here. It's simple. I want to bring some blue over into this corner, and I think the perfect way to do that is going to be with some candlesticks. These candlesticks are battery operated, and I got them from Amazon. There's a couple different colors, so I will link them down in the description. Okay, so the bane of my existence is this dang window, because I did go ahead and get it painted black, but it still needs some love. I broke this one. Nate's fixing it for me. It'll be after this video's up, but we're going to replace this window pane here, and then this one I can't actually remove it to get the silver removed. So that is going to be another thing that we'll do next spring. So
be a little bit of a part 2 minor update to this room, because we'll have to access it from outside, and we don't have a tall enough ladder at this time to do that. So my dad said he'll bring a ladder down to help us, because this isn't the only window we have to remove this from, and we'll run into this scenario. So for the time being, we're just going to put a cute little plant up here, and this area is done. And then in this corner, next to the bed, we're gonna put this basket. This is a basket that I just thrifted. I actually want to get a slightly bigger one and put this in my daughter's room, but it'll be utilized in here for now. That way guests can have a spot to throw the throw pillows. I painted this little artwork that we're gonna hang up in here. Another thing I thrifted was this crystal vase, which is perfect for me to put fresh or faux stems right here. And I want to eventually paint some more artwork in some mini frames, at least like one more right here. That'll come. Let me know if you guys would be interested in like a painting video. I just like to do cute little landscapes, nothing crazy. I found this gold mirrored tray from TJ Maxx for $12.99. So we're just gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna put little goodies. That nightstand over there, we're going to just leave completely blank. But on this one, I do want to add a candle. This smells so good. I got it from, again, TJ Maxx, but I liked that it had that crystal element to kind of match that vase. Thinking about who dominantly will be staying over, I'm adding a little trinket dish just so they have somewhere to take jewelry off and can leave it in a safe spot where it won't get knocked down very easily. Over here between the closet and the door, we went ahead and hung this shelf up. This is the perfect spot for guests to either put their coats up or towels if they're staying and, you know, taking showers and stuff like that. They have their own set of guest towels that we can put here and have their own space to dry them. Keeping it very simple, we're just going to do a little greenery here and a little eucalyptus greenery up there. We could also put artwork up there. I just hung it up with a command hook so that way I can kind of change it out based off of the season. But for now, we'll do the cute little eucalyptus leaf. And then last thing, above the bed, we hung that thrifted artwork. I got this for $5 and I think it just totally matches the vibe for the bed and the room. Alright guys, and with that being said, this is the completed guest bedroom for now. Like I said, there's a few things I want to include. I still am on the hunt for the perfect rug. I did go ahead and add one in here that we have just for the time being, but it's not big enough. It's not the color I want. It's just so basically you don't slip and fall when you get out of the bed. There's something under your feet for traction. We are going to fix the window and also remove that silver from the other side next spring. And next spring we'll be updating that secretary desk. And I'm still kind of figuring out what trim I want to put on the doors themselves to kind of like do like a framed. I've already had a few guests now stay in the room, and the general conclusion is it feels like a retreat or a bed and breakfast, which was totally the vibe I was going for. Just somewhere cozy and comfortable without being too overdone or too cluttered by any means. And yeah, it's literally my favorite room in the entire house right now. I cannot wait to do other rooms, especially mine and Nathan's bedroom, because I want
this same feeling in there. And so that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more makeovers, for lots of new content coming your way very soon. So I hope you guys are subscribed to my channel, and if you are, make sure you hit that bell notification so you get notified every single time that I upload, and I'll see you guys very soon in a brand new video. Mwah! Bye.